yellow love. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to dance it out for a minute, for a moment, giving people an opportunity to hop on and join me. I don't actually, I'm silently jamming out because hey there. Welcome, welcome. I'm silently jamming out. I'm pretending like I'm jamming out. I'm not in my usual environment. So normally I have music playing right before I go live, and I'm actually dancing it out. But tonight I'm just pretending. I'm just pretending like I'm dancing it out. So welcome, welcome. Jessica Carter, the Peaceful Billionaire here. And I am going to chat with you this evening about number 9 of 10 ways to unleash your inner billionaire. So I've been sprinkling these in over the past few weeks. The 10 ways to unleash your inner billionaire, to optimize your mind for inevitable success, right? Optimizing, leveraging your mind, this incredible $27 billion asset with 27 billion kilowatts of power that you already have, that is already yours, that is already available to you. And last night I was chatting about, I went deep, and last night was a long one, into the power of 5, right? So the power of 5 is the power of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I spent a lot of time also chatting about, like, aside from those 5 people that you, hey Muaz, welcome, welcome. Aside from those 5 people that you spend the most time with, the number one person that you spend the most time with is yourself. And so I talked last night a little bit about that 3-way call, about that inner dialogue that's constantly going on inside of your mind. And you have that inner critic, that negative Nancy voice. You have the Glenda the Good Witch voice. And then your logical, analytical thinking mind has to step in and be the referee and choose which one of those directors in that internal dialogue are you going to choose to listen to. And just the reminder that for most people, not for everyone, but for most people, hey there, good evening, welcome, welcome. For most people, that negative Nancy voice has been the predominant, that we'll call her negative Nancy. You might call it your inner critic. You might call it your saboteur. You might have your own name for the negative voice in your head. If you do, that's fine. One of my clients, she calls her inner critic, negative Nancy saboteur voice, Beatrice. So whatever you call that voice for yourself, but remembering that if that voice has been the more dominant voice in your mind for any period of time, that path of listening to the negative voice has become a path of least resistance. Now, I'm recapping on this because it actually does tie in with number 9 of 10 ways to unleash your inner billionaire. And back on one of the other tips, one of the things that I shared, one of the other tips was, one of the other ways was to eliminate the word TRY, the word try. I spell it because I don't use it. So that's the one time that I'm going to say it, because usually when I spell it, people go, wait, what? And I'm like, TRY. So I'm not going to say it again, because that word is a word that I've eliminated from my vocabulary. And the reason is that your subconscious mind doesn't understand negative words. So when you say you're going to TRY to do something, your subconscious mind throws up that giant red stop sign and it acts accordingly, right? Another night I talked about the Henry Ford quote. Yes, so you do, right? That's right. There is no TRY. You do or do not do. You choose to or choose not to. Yes, so I love that. And that is really, really powerful, right? That you're choosing, right? I choose to or choose not to, and I do or do not to. Or do not do. And whether you do or do not do, you're choosing, right? And even when you're not choosing, you're actually choosing, right? So sometimes there's this, it's important to have that awareness of not making a decision is actually still a decision. So that just kind of ties in with that. And then on another one of them, I mentioned the Henry Ford quote. This is one of my favorites, right? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're correct. Either way you're correct. And but because your subconscious mind doesn't understand those negative words, right? So when you say I can't, if you say I can't do something, similar to when you say you're going to TRY to do something, your subconscious mind responds in the same way. It throws up that giant stop sign and it acts accordingly. So if you just take it for face value and say, oh, I can't become an entrepreneur, I can't leave my career, I can't get rich, I can't become financially free, right? If you don't question, right? If you don't question that negative voice, it wins. It wins. And so you have to question it, right? When that thought comes into your mind, that negative thought comes into your mind, especially in regards to saying that you can't do something, you absolutely can. So you have to question it, right? Like you have to allow your analytical, logical thinking mind to step in and be like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, right? To be that referee to step in and say, hey, wait a second. The shift from I can't, right? You don't want to leave it there. You don't want to leave it there. You want to question that. You want to pay attention. Wait, and the shift. So the shift, number 9, is shift I can't to I can how. Shift I can't to I can how. Because now, right, now your subconscious mind is searching, right? You're saying I can how. So now your subconscious mind, rather than throwing up a giant red stop sign and acting accordingly, now your subconscious mind is searching. You're saying I can how. So your subconscious mind is now stepping in and supporting your conscious logical thinking mind in finding solutions. And your subconscious mind is so much more powerful than most people give credit to, or than most people realize. Because not only is your subconscious mind your subconscious mind, and your creative genius lives in your subconscious mind, but your subconscious mind is also the way, your pathway where you can access not only your own creative genius, but infinite intelligence as well. So when you are using your mind in a way that you're speaking to your subconscious mind in a way that is asking it for answers, for guidance, for solutions, rather than basically telling it to shut up by saying I can't, or I'm going to TRY, because your subconscious mind just doesn't understand those words. So it just blows it off, right? You're just like, boop, boop, nope, not doing that, right? So you want to actually access and pay really close attention to how your conscious analytical thinking mind is speaking to your subconscious mind, right? And so that you can create harmony in that synergy, in that conversation, in that relationship. So instead of telling your subconscious mind, I can't, now you automatically, when your negative Nancy, your saboteur, your inner critic says, I can't do something, you're automatically going to catch it. You're automatically going to catch it and be like, wait a second. I can, yes, I can. How? I can get rich. How? Right? I can become an entrepreneur and leave my previous job. I can. How? Yes, I can. How? So that your mind is going to support you in finding those solutions for you, right? So my whole jam in optimizing and leveraging your mind, being this $27 billion asset with these 27 billion kilowatts of power, right? Is I'm all about working smarter, not harder. That's always been my jam, right? Let's work smarter, not harder. Because everyone is on their own journey. Everyone's on their own path. Everyone has dreams. Everyone has goals. Everyone has desires. You have incredible dreams, incredible goals, incredible desires. And every single one of those dreams, every single one of those goals, every single one of those desires that you have that has dropped into your mind as a dream, goal, or a desire is meant for you. It is meant for you. How good does that feel to know that anything, no matter how big or how small, that comes into your mind as a dream, a goal, or a desire for yourself, that is absolutely meant for you. If that is financial independence, financial freedom, time freedom, right? The freedom to spend more time with family, to travel, right? If that comes into your mind as something that you desire, if that's a dream, if that's a goal for you, it is meant for you to have. It is meant for you to have. It's not magically going to show up in your life. Hey there, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's not going to magically show up in your life for you to have. It takes action, but whatever it is, you choose and you embark on that journey and that path to getting from point A to point B. Now that's my jam, but maybe for you, right? Maybe that dream, goal, or desire is a really profound romantic partnership. If that's a dream or a goal or desire for you, that is absolutely meant for you too, right? And so part of the focus, right? Part of the focus when you have clearly you define those dreams, goals, and desires for yourself, the more focus and energy you put towards them, right? Where, again, remember, where are you directing? Where are you directing that 27 billion kilowatts of power that your mind is pushing? Where are you directing that power, right? Are you allowing that power to power the negative Nancy voice, to power the inner critic? Are you willing to continue to accept that you're putting 27 billion kilowatts of power behind, I can't do that? Or are you going to choose to shift your 27 billion? Hey, Ray, welcome, welcome. Or are you going to choose to shift your 27 billion kilowatts of power to say, I can how? Whatever it is, whatever that destination is, whatever that dream is, that goal, that desire, that destination is, I can how? Because again, remember, if it comes into your mind as a dream, goal, or desire, it is meant for you. It is already yours. You do have to embark on a journey to claim it, to get there, to receive it, right? To receive it, to allow it, to receive it in your life. And part of the journey is getting really clear on that outcome. Where is it that you're going? And then knowing, right? Not only you believing, but knowing that you will absolutely have that dream, goal, desire, that desired outcome, that result, that you will have that or something greater. That you get to, in fact, have that or something greater. So when you know that, right, you know, like I am going to, whatever it is, right, that dream, goal, and desire, my dream, goal, and desire, right, my focus right now is on improving my financial life. I want to be financially free. Like that is what I choose for myself. And if that is something that you're choosing for yourself, right, I can how? How am I going to get there? Who's in your power of 5 that is going to support you on your journey? Maybe it's me, maybe it's somebody else, right? But who's going to support you on that journey of bringing that forth for you, bringing that forth with you, supporting you on that path? It's a journey. It's a journey, but you have to know that you're going to get there. And the cool part is there are a whole lot of different ways that you can get there. There's infinite possibilities and infinite ways for you to get from point A to point B. But you first have to believe that you're going to get there. Know with absolute certainty. That language, do you hear that language? Absolute certainty, knowing with absolute certainty that you will, in fact, absolutely have, without question, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you will have the desired outcome that you choose or something greater. That's the only possibility that there is. Like that is how I approach everything in my life. Like that is whatever I've actually always, and before I understood how all of this worked, just so you know, before I understood how all of this worked, I've pretty much always been someone who tended to get what I wanted. Now I would say I get what I choose to have. The language is different. But I was someone that always got what I wanted. Now, that's not because I'm lucky. That's not because I'm lucky. That's not because I'm special. That's not because I'm different. That's not because I'm a unicorn. What I realized when I started learning and really understanding how powerful the mind is and how it actually works, when I started to think back, I was like, I've kind of always gotten almost anything that I wanted. Why is that? How is that? And it was because I would put my sights on something and nothing else would do, right? Like I was going to get that thing or something better, like no matter what, right? So no matter what it takes. And that's part of the journey, right? But I remember in different places on my journey where sometimes the hardest part was just to start. And I remember other times on my journey where like the hardest part was to keep going. And those are like two of the most valuable keys of success, right? There's this fear of failure. There's this fear of failure. I was there for such a long time. This fear of failure when I first started on my personal professional journey and on that path to achieving the financial freedom that I did. In the beginning, I was scared. I was scared shitless, quite frankly. And I thought I was so afraid of failure. And then what I realized, I was like, well, shoot, am I more afraid of the failure or am I actually more afraid of the success? Oftentimes, you think it's the fear of the failure. And if you really think about it, that fear of the success is probably a little bit bigger, right? Because it's so foreign and it's so new. But what's actually tied in that overrides both of those things, whether it's the fear of failure or fear of success, whichever one of those is a bit more dominant or a bit stronger for you, if you really look deeply at it, what is actually encompassing either one of those, it kind of doesn't matter which one of those it is, because ultimately it's the fear of uncertainty. It's the fear of the unknown that holds people back the most. And it's because society has programmed, has given so much guidance and has placed so much fear in the unknown and in uncertainty. And the opposite is actually the goal. The goal is to be able to embrace uncertainty, to embrace the unknown, because it is only when you embrace uncertainty and when you embrace the unknown that you will start to experience things in your life that defy logic. What does that mean, to defy logic? You will experience things that don't make sense in the best freaking way possible. You're like, that doesn't make sense. That is really, really good, and that doesn't make any sense. It defies logic. Things start to defy logic for you when you embrace uncertainty, when you embrace the unknown, when you navigate those uncharted waters of embracing uncertainty, embracing the unknown, moving with the fear, right? Moving with the fear, not allowing the fear to paralyze you, to stop you, but rather allowing yourself to feel the fear and do it anyway. To feel the fear and keep going. To feel the fear and get started. And then every time the fear shows up, to keep going. Because it doesn't completely go away. I would say it shows up less, and you just navigate it differently. You just get to a point where it doesn't show up as often, and you navigate it differently. I mean, I like to think that at some point, that if I keep going on this journey, on the trajectory, that it completely goes away. But there's certain aspects of your mind that are like, as much as actually my clients called me out on this tonight. I actually flubbed. This is the first time can I share something, like, full transparency with you guys? This is the first time I have ever flubbed up, like, the time for one of my classes, ever. My clients were texting me. They're like, do we have class tonight? Like, and I looked at the clock and I was like, oh my God. So I told them, I was like, I'll be on in 10 minutes. And I get on and I was like, oh my God, you guys, I am so sorry. I said, I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I was like, I'm losing my mind. I literally, like, the time in my mind, even though we meet at the same time every single week, for some reason I added 30 minutes today. And I was like, oh, at like 5:30 this evening, I was like, oh yeah, like, class starts at 6:30. I have an hour. I'm gonna, like, get some stuff. I'm gonna focus, get some stuff done for 45 minutes, and then I'll, like, freshen up and prepare to hop on. What in the world? So the joke was, like, I got on and my clients were laughing at me because they were like, oh my God, you're human. And I was like, they're like, you're actually human. I was starting to wonder. And I was like, you guys, I was like, I really don't like to admit those moments that I feel superhuman, that I do super, like, human things, like, versus being in my, like, superhuman state. But I was like, wow. So they were like, Jesse, you're actually human. I was like, dang it. I work so hard to not be human. No, I'm teasing, but there is a certain evolution of a place of of some work that I've done in regards to becoming the super being, and it comes with the territory of really using your mind in the ways that I teach, right? In using and harnessing 100% of the value and the power of the $27 billion asset that you have right here that you already own. And that's what happens. The evolution of it is you really transcend beyond limitations, right? So most people, for most people, limitation is like a normal thing. And I've been there because I've always been, like, my own biggest limitation, my own worst critic. And part of the journey is moving past that, right? And moving past any perceived obstacle, any perceived limitation, into a place of just pure potential and pure possibility. And that place is the place that's available for you too, right? That you are in fact pure potential, and there is pure possibility available to you. There are infinite possibilities and infinite opportunities in the world that are available to each and every single one of you. And the way that things started to open for me, and all of the opportunities and everything started to just show up in a way that was actually better than I could have imagined. And that's really that place where when you start to do the work and use your mind efficiently and effectively, and you harness that power, is things show up and they're so much better than you even could have imagined. So I often say, like, there is something, right? There is a power far wiser and far far greater than myself out there that has a far greater plan for me than I could ever possibly have for myself. So, as big as my dreams and my vision and my goals are, I always know at the same time that that higher place has an even something even better in store for me. And that belief and that level of faith and that level of certainty, that is, it gives you so much more than your mind can currently conceive, right? So there's so much more available to you than your mind can currently perceive or conceive, right? um, and the universe, whatever that belief system is for you, whatever that higher place is, that higher power, whether that's the universe, whether that's spirit, source, God, Allah, Buddha, there's in my world, there's not a right or wrong name for what that higher place is. It's just for me knowing that there is something bigger than myself out there. There is something wiser than myself out there. There is something more powerful than myself out there. And in fact, hey Viviana, hi beautiful. That there is something in fact out there. And not only is it out there, that it is guiding me and it is supporting me. And the only way that I could possibly fail is if I believed that it were possible for me to fail. Hey, Moon! The only way that I could possibly fail is if I allow that possibility in my mind. Right? So the thing that I always say is I'm actually willing to fail. Right? But like true failure would mean you just quit or you never started, right? That's the only true failure of not receiving what it is that you're meant to have, right? Not getting to that end result or that goal or that desire, right? Um, that's the only way. But you so that's the only true failure, is to never start, or to quit. Along the way, you fail as much as you want, right? That's one of the beautiful things that I started to learn. In addition to embracing uncertainty, embracing the unknown, embrace failure. People, there's so much of this like superimposed perfectionism upon myself included, where you think that you're not supposed to fail. It's okay to fail. Failure is it's a learning opportunity. So that's a very humble thing that I learned on my entrepreneurial journey is, I'm not perfect. There's a lot that I don't know. Every day I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much that I don't know, but there's so much that I do know too, right? And so there's always that like dichotomy of like, oh my God, there's so much I don't know, but oh my God, there's so much that I do know, right? And I know enough to continue on the path, right? I know enough to keep going. That's what I know. And I've learned that if I'm willing to just consistently fail forward, that the only possible outcome is success. And what that means is as long as you keep going, there will be success. You have to start, and then you have to keep going. Start, keep going. And like I said, but I know because I've been there that those two things can feel impossible sometimes. That sometimes, like I said, sometimes getting started can feel impossible. Sometimes that feels like the hardest part. Sometimes when you're in the middle, that feels like the hardest part. Sometimes to keep going feels like the hardest part. And so to that, I say, wherever you are right now, where you are right now is closer than you've ever been, so keep going. Though those simple words right there, early in my entrepreneurial journey, when I felt like I had no clue what I was doing on any given day, and as the time would pass by, I just kept saying to myself, I'm like, Jessa, where you are now is closer than you've ever been. Just keep going. Where you are now is closer than you've ever been. Just keep going. And that's all I did. I just keep going and I just keep going and I just keep going, you know? And along the way, I hit these successes, and along the way, I hit these next successes. So I just keep going, right? But sometimes when things aren't quite going your way as you think that they should, they're still happening the way they're meant to. They just might not be happening the way you would like for them to, and that's okay, right? I had to accept that. That's okay. It might be happening in a way that I wouldn't necessarily expect. Sometimes things happen in a way that I wouldn't necessarily choose, but those things are still getting me from point A to point B. So sometimes that journey and that path of getting to the desired outcome, of getting to that result, sometimes that path is like, it's not a straight path. It's not the straight and narrow, right? Like the fastest path to get where you're going, you think it's the straight and narrow, but it's this non-linear path that actually gets you from where you are to where you're going so much faster. I feel like if I would have followed a linear trajectory, that it would have taken so much longer. And so I very much embrace that nonlinear trajectory. So that's the part that when you are really clear about that end result, about that desired outcome for yourself, is you're able to actually let go of the how. Now, that doesn't mean that you're sitting on your keister not doing anything. It just means that how you get there might not be the way that you think is the how that you're supposed to get there. So you just have to allow some space and keep it open, that you know that you're going to get there, and the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how might be different than you seem. Than it seems, might be different than you expect. So you just don't want to pigeonhole yourself of like, okay, I'm going to get from here, from point A to point B, and the only way for me to get there is this way. Not true. Not true. Hey there, hey Chris. That's not true. But if you're that, like, if you get, what happens is if you do that to yourself, you end up with tunnel vision. So if you're on that trajectory and you're like, okay, this is the goal, this is where I want to get, right now I'm here and I want to get over here, and you have this clear path, you're like, okay, I'm going to get there, and this is how I'm going to get there, and this is the only way that I'm going to get there. You end up putting your tunnel vision on. And so what happens is that tunnel vision things will take longer, because the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how that's supposed to get you there, if you're so, like, if you've got your goggles on and you're in the tunnel and there's these other who's to help you along the way, there's these other hows to get you there faster, there's these, all of these other things, if you're on that tunnel vision path, you'll miss those other things. So that's where the openness comes in, right? So embracing that uncertainty, embracing the unknown, knowing that there might be a better, a faster and easier way for me to get from point A to point B. So I'm going to keep going on the path that I'm on, but occasionally I might get redirected. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be open to that possibility that there might be a detour that's there for you, that will show up, that will get you there faster. So you have to be open to that. Okay. I never get on here and plan on continuing on for so long. So I'm going to leave you all with that wisdom. If you just jumped on, I apologize, because I've been on for like almost 35 minutes. So you missed the bulk of what I was jamming on this evening, which was number 9. the number 9 of 10 ways to unleash your inner billionaire, to optimize your mind, your $27 billion asset, right? To make success inevitable for yourself. And number 9 of those 10 ways is to shift I can't to I can how. Shift I can't to I can how. So anytime your mind lies to you, listen to that language. Anytime your mind lies to you and tells you that you can't do something, anytime negative Nancy shows up, inner critic, saboteur shows up and lies to you and tells you that you can't do something, shift it to I can how. If you missed it, if you had some favorite parts of this, if you ever want to rewatch any of my lives, you can catch the replays. Primarily, they are there on Instagram, but they're primarily all there on YouTube, and they're organized. Yes. No, shift I can. Or yes, shift I can't to I can how. Yes. Wow, I can't even, apparently I'm dyslexic and I can't read this evening. So no disrespect or making fun of people who are dyslexic. I genuinely do sometimes think that my brain switches things around. So I'm poking fun at myself, not at anyone else. But if you do ever want to catch more of my content, if you want to rewatch a live that you were here for, if you want to go check out any of the other videos, they're all housed on my YouTube channel at The Peaceful Billionaire. So go to at The Peaceful Billionaire, hit subscribe. What you'll also find on my YouTube channel is the Peaceful Billionaire Mission to Billions vlog. That is a daily entry that I do. I do a daily vlog entry, which is my personal behind the scenes journey, full transparent, the highs, the lows, everything in between of what is required both internally and externally for myself to reach these next levels of unprecedented wealth and success in a short period of time, because that is primarily an inner game. Just so you all know, like most people think that all of this success and all of this money is primarily an outer game, that it's primarily in that outer world, and it's primarily all inside. And it's primarily all inside of here. And it's once you get beyond the confinements of your conscious mind, of that logical thinking, analytical brain, that logical thinking, analytical mind, once you get beyond the confinements of that, you start to really, again, you're accessing your subconscious mind, you're accessing heart and soul's intelligence, you're accessing your own creative genius, you're accessing infinite intelligence, right? So there's all of this that's available to you when you're accessing and harnessing 100% of the power and the value of this extraordinary $27 billion asset that you already have. There's so much beyond that initial confinement, that initial constriction, that most people are used to experiencing. And that's my world, and I use it, right? And I use it to help people direct it to financial freedom and a life that you absolutely love, right? The time and the financial freedom to have the lifestyle and whatever it is that you love, right? I choose to support you in harnessing the power and value of that $27 billion asset towards freedom. Because I think that is, hey there, welcome. Because I think that is really the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal might seem like the financial freedom, but the path that I take to get you there gives you true freedom in addition to the financial freedom. Because ultimately, you don't want the money and to still be miserable, right? You think about it, there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of money, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're fulfilled. And I'll dive into that a little bit. I have some foundational logic and my own understanding of why that is. and why I do things differently so that you can have unprecedented levels of wealth and success without stress, without overwhelm, right? And instead have the true time and financial freedom, but your own true freedom that comes with peace, with fulfillment, with joy, right? So that so you really get to have it all. You really, really get to have it all. If you've been told that you can't have it all, I disagree. I disagree. I personally disagree. And you can too. It's your choice, right? You can subscribe to the I can't have it all line of my phone. I have an alarm that goes off at 10:10 at night that reminds me of a positive message. And the past couple nights I've been live, and it keeps discombobulating my Insta live on my phone. But anyways, so that's your choice. And that's one of the things that I always emphasize is your power and your freedom of choice, right? You don't have to believe anything that I say. You don't, right? And you can question, feel free to question in your own mind anything that I say. But everything that I teach are things that have made a difference in my own life and in my own journey in a really profound way. And because I understand how the noggin works, from both a neuroscience and neurosurgical perspective, as well as from a metaphysical perspective, right? So that you're really, really harnessing all of this power and this value that is available to you. It's yours. It's yours. I just want to give you access to it, right? Just it's my intention to give you access to that. It's yours. It really is. So there is that choice and that opportunity. If you choose, right? If you choose to believe that story of I can't have it all, then you can't, right? I don't subscribe to that channel. I don't believe that channel, right? I believe I can how, and I believe that I can have it all. So I can have it all how, right? And that's what I decided to create and build for myself is how do I get to have it all? And I made it. I created it for myself. And you can too. Anything I can do, you can do. Probably better. Probably better. I love when my clients, I don't like to call them students. Some people call their clients their students. I consider you clients. I consider everyone to be an equal. I don't see anyone as being above me or below me. So if you are my client, I see you and I hold you in the vision of your highest potential, right? Your highest earning potential, your highest quality of life potential, your highest quality, your highest expression of self, your highest expression of who you are. That's what I see. So I look at you and I see pure potential, pure possibility. And I hold that for you. And I guide you on the path to getting there and to having that freedom within yourself, but also within your financial life, right? So you have the freedom both internally and externally. Because to just have the financial freedom and not have the internal freedom doesn't feel like freedom. It doesn't feel like freedom. I say that all the time, right? All of the money in the world isn't going to feel good if you're mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally bankrupt, right? So it doesn't matter how big the bank account is. If you're, hey there, welcome. Oh my goodness. So it doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter how much money is in the bank account. If you're mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally bankrupt, that's not going to feel good. And that's not the goal, right? The goal for me is that you enjoy the journey, that the journey to getting from where you are now from to where you want to go, that you get to enjoy that journey, that that journey feels not just good or great or extraordinary, but exquisite. But exquisite. That is my intention. So anywho, that is all. That is all. That is all. That is all. Today's Wednesday. So again, if you happen to miss this evening, you can catch the replay on YouTube at thepeacefulbillionaire.com or at the Peaceful Billionaire. Subscribe there. You can also catch my vlog entries there. You can catch former replays, and I do go live every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll be jamming out with more wisdom and knowledge and pearls, and also giving you the opportunity to thank you so much. Thank you. I'll also be giving you the opportunity on Fridays to share your wins, no matter how big or how small. I want to know how your week went. I want to know what you're celebrating, because I want to celebrate with you, and I want all of us to celebrate together. Why? Why do I do these things? There's always meaning behind my madness. Always meaning behind my madness, because what gets celebrated gets replicated, right? So on Fridays we celebrate ourselves, we celebrate each other, so that is being exponentially expanded for everyone, right? For the good of all. And also you have the opportunity to ask questions on Friday. So if you do have some questions, you can put your questions in the comments and I will answer them. And if I don't have questions, I'll just keep asking for wins so that I can celebrate you, and I'll keep just dropping some wisdom and some diamonds and some pearls. That's what I call my nuggets. Some people, call it like, oh, like dropping these like nuggets, the gold nuggets of wisdom. I like to call my diamonds and pearls, my pearls of wisdom, my diamonds and pearls. So, because I'm bougie like that. If you don't know me, if you don't know me that well yet, I am, and I used to take offense to that. I actually used to take offense to that. People would call me bougie or high maintenance. I was like, you know what? I beg to differ, right? So I started to really embrace it. I'm like, you know what? I am bougie AF. And you know what? You can call me high maintenance if you want, but that's your perception. Like, your perception of me being high maintenance is a reflection of your own insecurities, right? Just because I have high standards, it doesn't mean I'm high maintenance. I take care of myself. Right? I take care of myself. I'm not asking you to take care of me. I take care of myself. So that in fact, I don't think makes me high maintenance, that I have high standards and that I take really great care of myself, and that I like nice things. I don't sugarcoat that. It's just what I like. If you love the country, if you love log cabins, my mom loves log cabins. My parents lived in a log home for years, and it was beautiful. That's not my personal architectural choice or style, but that was what my mom loved for years. Great, right? Great. Whatever it is that you choose that brings you joy, right? So I do. That's what I like, and I'm not ashamed about what I like, because it's not about. I've always been a quality over quantity person, and I just really enjoy quality everything. Right? I enjoy quality people. I enjoy quality conversations. I enjoy quality relationships. I enjoy quality food. I enjoy quality clothes. I enjoy, so there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with whatever that bar is that you choose for yourself. Like, embrace that. Embrace that. Listen, if log cabins are what you love, and you decide you want $1 million or $5 million log cabin, then so be it. So be it, right? If that's what you choose to have, you get to choose that. And you get to choose that and build that and create that for yourself. So whatever that is for you, right? Again, that's not my personal style, but if it's your personal style, then I'm all for it. I'm all about it. So what is this vision? What is this future? What is this life look like for you? If you do happen to come hang out with me, I'll give you just some teasers now. If you do happen to come hang out with me, I do have a 3-day virtual event that's coming up. We're almost in June. It's coming up in July, so this is just like a little teaser. But if you happen to join me, you'll get to create that vision. You'll get to create that vision for your life. And in a way that there's so much goodness coming with it that I'm excited about it. And it's not what you would expect. So you can actually, I'm going to start sharing. I have a gift. I have a Design Your Peaceful Billionaire Life workbook that I'm going to start sharing access to soon. But there's hey there, good evening. I'm gonna be sharing that soon. But there's something special that we're going to be doing with it if you happen to come hang out with me at my 3-day virtual event. And a whole lot more, like a whole lot more. So I'll be sharing more about that in the weeks to come. But that's just a little sneak peek for now. But okay, I've been jamming out again for if you just joined me, I apologize. I'm like I this has been the most awkward thing for me, just so you all know, about going live. When I'm about to stop being live, I'm about to go off and people hop on, like, and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So I apologize if you missed me. If you want to catch the replay, please hop on YouTube at The Peaceful Billionaire. You can catch the replay there. You can catch all of my other videos there on YouTube, or you can come back and join me tomorrow. Evenings tend to end up being when I'm on. Don't ask me why I'm live. I'm on the East Coast, by the way, so it's like 10:30 and almost 11 o'clock at night for me. And yes, this is how like awake and energetic that I am, and I realize that that's probably not normal, and I'm okay with that. I've been embracing not being normal for a very long time now. So if you think that I'm not normal, that's okay. I know that I'm not normal. I fully embrace my quirkiness. But anyway, so yeah, so I will be on live again tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time. It does usually end up being the evenings, but you can for sure catch me live on Fridays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time and hang out with me. So I look forward to it. Again, if you missed majority of this evening, my apologies. Please do catch the replay. But for now, sending you much love, much prosperity, and I will see you all soon. I will see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye for now. Ooh, covering up the phone.